Hey guys, Bugcat7 here. Okay, it is Monday, February 3rd, 2020, and I want to thank you for visiting the Stonewall Research channel here on YouTube. I really do appreciate it. Alright guys, well I have a little bit of disappointing news for you, and very disappointing to me as I spent so much time setting this all up. But I had originally scheduled a live interview with an author, Laotian American lady from Washington State who's an alt researcher, and she had contacted me and asked if I'd like to do an interview with her, and I said yes, of course. And because I'm all about that, people who know me, I strongly support other people doing research, alternative research, whatever research that they're doing, and I often promote them on my channel because, I think just if I'm looking at your stuff, I think that's only right. So I promote a lot of people on my channel, whether they like me, know me, I like them, or whatever, doesn't matter. I'm all about people doing research, and I'm always willing to help if I can. So anyway, long story short is that I set up this interview with her. She's Laotian American, and I tried using the software that I have, this OBS software that I'm doing this video with, and it seems to work pretty well. Unfortunately, I think with a live feed, it's just too taxing on the resources on my laptop. So it's just not powerful enough to have a live feed and use the OBS software at the same time, or anything else that's on there, whether it be, internet or whatever. So it's just too taxing on the resources of my laptop. So the file was corrupted. I had a great 2-hour interview with the lady, and it was just amazing, but I don't have it for you, unfortunately. So in order to sort of make lemonade out of lemons, I'm just going to have to sort of make it up by, talking about what she's all about. So in any case, she had sent me this list of her research points. Now, she hasn't written a book yet, and one of the reasons why she contacted me is because this research is basically about Native or Aboriginal people's stories around the world that have to do with megalithic constructions, etc., etc. Now, she comes from a country where, as we know about from our own research, Laos, where you find these jars, the field of jars, or the plain of jars, these megalithic jars, these inexplicable things that are there in Laos, and they're absolutely huge and basically inexplicable. There's hundreds of them there, and whereas they found only a couple of burials in them, they don't really believe that they were meant for burials. So she's knows of the stories from her own tribe. Here's one of the pictures that she sent me in the field of jars. Her family there in Laos, and here she is among one of the smaller temples there, but apparently the folklore there of her tribe says that there were much bigger megalithic structures in the area, and she found all this out. And she's an already established author. She's written a number of books, and not on megaliths or anything else. Here's some of the books that she's written here. One on the Buddhist Guide to Manifest Parallel Realities. We had discussed that book, and we discussed her other books here. Bridal bouquets, anybody who's getting married, anything that might make that experience easier is definitely something you might want. So, I was married and divorced now for many, many years, but remember planning the wedding. It was awful. I'd rather have a root canal, to be honest with you. And so does everybody who gets married. They know right away what I'm talking about. So anyway, she wrote some books on that. And she wrote some books on e-commerce too, which when I was in college, I took e-commerce. I was a very good student. My e-commerce professor told me I could write the book on it. So I was very interested in what she had written there, and here's some coloring books that she actually made here. 30 Reasons to Adopt a Dog, 30 Reasons to Adopt a Cat. So, you know, I'm all about that, guys. I'm a big animal rights person and an animal lover and all that kind of stuff. I take care of feral cats and birds and everything else. Meanwhile, they eat and I can't eat, because I'm taking care of them. That's the way I am, you know. Hopefully there's a place in whatever heaven there is in the afterlife for me. I hope so. But in any case, so she's the author of these many books, and what happened to her is that, you know, she's a Buddhist also for 40 years now, most of her life, all of her life, and she relates a lot of her work. She incorporates her Buddhism, philosophy, and principles into a lot of her work. So it's a very interesting take from her side of it. So anyway, she went back to Laos to, I guess, get in touch with her roots. And while she was doing that, and she came across, you know, pretty much a lot of stuff that probably most of the subs already know. But here's a picture from a Buddhist temple about the flood that happened some 10,000 years ago, according to their folklore over there. So it's one thing that you're studying, all the art in the Buddhist temples that deal with this previous time period, this ancient time period that nobody knows about. And there's stories of giants in Laotian mythology and the tribal mythology. And what's also interesting here, you see a lady standing next to one of these giant megalithic jars. It's just so inexplicable. And here's one of the Hmong people with blonde hair. Apparently, some of the Hmong people have blonde hair and blue eyes, and they don't know how they got these things. So there's all these mysterious folklore and mythologies among the Hmong people in Laos there. And when she went back there to establish her roots, here's one, you know, her book again, Buddhist Guide to Manifest Parallel Realities. So she's a very bright lady, and she decided that after making this trip back to Laos to get back in touch with her roots there, that she came across all of this stuff, this inexplicable stuff, and she decided that she was going to do some research on it. So she contacted me because it's related research, and, you know, I told her right off the bat that there's going to be great difficulty about getting any sort of information here in the Americas, because the Native American peoples have said many, many times throughout the several hundred years now that they didn't have anything to do with the stone construction, stone walls, mounds, effigies, cairns, chambers, whatever it might be, that they reckoned it to some previous people who, you know, lived there in the past that weren't related to them, that they had no idea about. And it was going to be difficult getting some of these stories out of the mythologies and histories of the Native American people. So, you know, I told her what I knew about, you know, the stone giants, and, you know, what, you know, my research has led me to a conclusion about that. And as we know on this channel, the stone giants aren't giants made of stone or in stone armor. Those are all cockamamie theories invented by people who want to sensationalize it and make a lot of money, talking about the things that have no bearing on any sort of facts or anything like that. Lots of people write books. It's very popular. It's very popular on YouTube, etc. These people make millions of dollars based on phony research that has nothing to do with any truth whatsoever. And it's funny, this girl, this lady, this nice lady, she's also in that vein. She's not about Anunnaki, she's not about Nephilim, she's not about aliens and angels and the Bible and everything. She believes in a more homegrown explanation for this, as I've been saying on my channel for many, many, many years. So, in any case, this is what spurred her interest in the subject, and she's getting into this research. So she's been soliciting people like me, people with channels that deal with megaliths and ancient stonework, etc., and seeing if she could sort of solicit people, subs, you know, people subs who host these channels like me, who have any stories about Native Americans and stone constructions and megalithic constructions. So this was whole part of her deal. She's trying to gather this information in the best way that she can, and she thought by, maybe getting some interviews on people's channels here that she would be able to incorporate that into her research and maybe put it down on paper into a book. So naturally I said I would help her. And let me just read to you some of the research points that she's already covered. She's well into it at this point, and I'll just read it to you. Like, as I said, I'm trying to make lemonade out of lemons here. So she writes to me, "Hi Dave, I'm pretty open to any show idea to get my project exposure. Below is my suggested show agenda that I would likely follow about me and my project. How I got started getting research. My trip to Laos. Tomo Monument, Folklore, Plain of Jars, Megaliths, meeting blonde Laotians in my parents' village, accessory DNA test results of being Hmong blonde ancestry." She had got DNA analysis done, and they couldn't locate any markers in her DNA that would suggest blonde or whatever. But she tells me apparently in her family, people started out with light blonde and auburn hair. Eventually, as they got older, this all turned darker. But we know of research done on this. Sylvia at the New Earth channel had introduced this to me way back when, 5-6 years ago, when I was watching her channel. So in any case, this is what spurred her to get into this research, some of the stuff. Okay, so Laos folklore of giants. So we have giants, mythology and stories from the Laotian people there. Buddhist folklore of a mega flood and Lemurian metaphysics technology. She was big into this sort of ancient technology and the different possibilities with sound technology and light technology, whatever it may be, all the things that, have been thought of by other researchers. But how did they move these things? It seems almost impossible in some cases for them to move these things around with the technology that they had. And I go over this on my channel many times. We discuss many of the related topics on my channel and how it related to her research there. So let me just continue reading down this list here. The Ban Hatse Kun Wat Buddhist Temple, Megaflood art, some 10,000 plus years old. Chinese pyramids and blonde and red hair Asian mummies, as we had talked about. I've talked about it in the past on my channel, but I also talked about it with the latest video at Robert Schoch, Voyages of the Pyramid Builders. He mentioned that in there. The Mandan Native American tribe of North Dakota. I haven't got to North Dakota, but there's also blonde natives there, and what she's calling blonde Asians. Of course, Native Americans have a lot of Asian markers, but you know what my story is on that if you've been following my channel. The Hawamanga Maui Polynesia Stonehenge of Tonga, Langi Pyramid platforms in the lost city of Mua in Tonga, Bata Valley of megalithic jars and statues in Indonesia. So here in Indonesia we have another field of megalithic jars in Indonesia there. The Gunung Padang 25,000-year-old pyramid. The Chocolate Hills of the Philippines, which I didn't know anything about. It sounds very interesting. The folklore about the War of the Giants. Many megaliths and pyramids atop mountains in the islands all over the Pacific Ocean, which, she's relating it to the flood story, and we see that very examples all around the world. She gives them the Vinamapu megalithic walls on Easter Island, same exact as Machu Picchu in Peru, which all, again, these megalithic stone construction sites that are on top of mountains everywhere. The Waianae Pyramid in Hawaii and its folklore of being part of Lemuria. Kaimanawa Wall Mystery in New Zealand. Gosford hieroglyphics on the Gympie Pyramids in Australia. That's where you find these Egyptian hieroglyphs and all that kind of stuff that they can't seem to figure out. the Pulamele Mound, Star Pyramid in Samoa. You know, we went over all these star mounds in Samoa on my channel. Pyramid Point in Papua New Guinea. Yanaguni, the underwater pyramid in Japan and its surrounding megaliths. So, you know, she sent me this list of discussion points. We discussed them again. I had a great 2-hour interview with her, but unfortunately, I can't run the software and have a live feed at the same time. My computer lacks the resources to handle all of those things. So I'm back to plan A, which is to try to get some better equipment and everything. But it's unfortunate. It's very disappointing when I looked at the video at the end. It was just, nothing was good. The sound was bad. Everything was terrible. So, unfortunately, I'm not able to publish the video, and I'm very disappointed about it. I was working on it for hours and hours and hours, looking at tutorials on YouTube about using Google Hangouts with live feeds on YouTube. Apparently, and I didn't know this, that sometime last year in 2019, they got rid of that feature, how to go live onto YouTube from Google Hangouts. So not only, I guess I'm a latecomer, I don't really know that, but people who use it constantly were very, very disappointed by that. It was an easy way to do it. And there's some sort of workaround that you could do it with the OBS software, but I just didn't have enough time to prepare for that. I tried, I did everything I could. I figured, you know what, I'll just record it. I won't go live with it, and I'll just publish the recorded video later on, but I wasn't able to do it, so, because the file is just corrupted beyond usefulness. So I'm sorry about that, folks. So what I will do is I will post some links in the description of this video to this nice lady, so you can go and take a look at some of her stuff there on Amazon, her Facebook page. She also has a YouTube page, so you can go to and look at other interviews that she has posted on there. Again, I apologize. She's going to be awfully upset when I haven't told her yet about this, but I will. And she's not going to be happy about that. But I thought that it would be interesting to have an author like this associated with the channel, because if she writes these books and she becomes very popular, that would be somebody of note. That would be excellent to be associated with my channel here. So, as I said, you know, doing the next best thing I can do about it here is just get the word out there about her and what she's looking to do, and if anybody can help her, she would certainly appreciate the help. I've done as much as I can, and I gave her the rather negative and disappointing news about what she might find out about here, especially in North America, which is next to nothing. But we all know why that is, and you know, she's going to find that out as she gets into the research here. But as I said, I'll definitely try to help her in the course of my research. If I can help her in any way, I will certainly do that. And that's about it, guys. I'm sorry about it. Unfortunately, I got to upgrade all my stuff. I just don't have a lot of money to work with, and that's one of the problems. And, you know, it could also be that the Wi-Fi feed, which I thought was pretty good, but again, you know, maybe my unit can't juggle that sort of stuff around in the unit here, and it's in the memory here. So I just need a better, more powerful laptop if I'm going to continue doing interviews with anybody. I think it's good enough to do the regular sort of videos with, like this one, but I don't think it's going to be good for doing live feed or anything. We could have went live with it directly to YouTube, but I wouldn't have a recording of it. So I think so. I don't know exactly, to be honest with you, but I guess, you know, once it's on there, it sort of stays there, and I don't have to worry about that. But I still want to have the recording for myself in case something happens on YouTube. But I botched it all up. I'm guilty. I'm sorry about it. I apologize to everybody. But as I said, we're just try to make some lemonade out of these lemons that I got here, and that's about it. Alright guys, I'm sorry, but again, I'll post some links to this nice lady here, and if anybody can help her, that's really what the main point of doing the interview with me was about. So if anybody can help her, please do contact her and let her know if you have some stories, native stories from wherever you are around the world. She wants to hear about them and may use them in her books that she intends to write. So again, she's already a published author, got a number of books, and she has carte blanche. Her publisher, I guess, doesn't have any guidelines for her to follow, so she's free to publish anything she wants. Alright guys, so anyway, I'm going to end the video there, and later on, maybe tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll be publishing and putting up a video on the giants once again, and we'll get back into that. Alright, so anyway, Bugcat7 signing out guys. I'll see you real soon with a video. Peace.